Greetings, brothers and sisters. I hope everything is well with everybody today. This morning, we want to say happy Sabbath to everybody out there. Happy Sabbath. We're on our way to the beach because it's baptism. This is the second Sabbath of the month, the time that we do baptism. We have several candidates who are coming out this morning, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. We have nice weather here in South Florida. The weather's awesome. It's about 84 degrees already. So early in the morning, but we don't mind that. We like weather when it's nice and warm. I expect that the sea will be very calm. I expect that the water would be also very warm this time of the year. We baptized last month several people, and the month before that, and the water was very, very warm. Last month was just extraordinary because the weather was nice. The sea, there were no waves, none at all. And also, being that there were no waves, the water was just like smooth. And we were able to conduct baptism in a very smooth way. And that's good. It's always good. We try to get there early in the morning now because we want to get there before the beach goers get there. Of course, this is not a holiday weekend, so we might do pretty well and beating everybody to the beach. Some people go to the beach at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. They like to get there early, leave, But baptism, it's something that we, for the past several months, we have had a candidate each month. This is awesome because, we're trying to get the word out, trying to spread this gospel. We're living in a time that there's a lot of stuff happening. And, when you look at everything that's happening out there, things are on course. Things are on course. Things are happening the way they are supposed to be happening. I was in the car wash the other day, and we was just dialoguing the whole entire car wash. People in there getting the car wash, and it was about maybe 6 or 7 people. And of course, living in Florida, there's a lot of new laws, and so we got into that. And of course, I always find a way to bring in the scriptures somehow. Whenever you talk about politics, and it's because one lady says that maybe we need to start pushing for reparations. And I looked at the lady and I says, you're never going to get reparations, ever. There's a reason why we as a people are going through the situation that we're going through. And of course, she sat up in her chair and she says, now you got my attention. What is that supposed to mean? And I said, clarify yourself. She says, well, what do you mean that what's happening to us was inevitable? It's history. It's something that has to be. Like it can never change. And I told her, says it can change for individuals, but it can never change for us as a people. And of course, going into the Bible, I had to address it and letting her know who we are. We're the people of the Bible. The Bible is our history book. And she says, well, I can see that. She says, I could see things that are similarities. And I says, there's no similarities. Similarities means, to me, when you say, well, that's similar, you're trying to make it fit. Brothers and sisters, we are who we are. That Bible is our history book. That Bible talks about you, I, our ancestors. That's what their Bible is doing. No other group of people on the hemisphere of this earth has ever gone through being put on ships, scattered to every nation, children sold. That only has fit one group of people. And we have been scattered through Jamaica, Bahamas, Cuba, all of the other islands in the Caribbeans, depending on who took you from the west coast of Africa and during the Spanish Inquisition. It just depends. All of the nations have conspired to do that. And that's history. But the Bible prophetically said it was going to happen before it happened. And it kind of got her tuned in real good. So she says, so you don't think we'll ever get reparations? I says, no, you'll never get reparations. And she wanted to know, well, how do we get out of this? You know, in the book of Kings, the 8th chapter, when Solomon had built the temple, he prayed. And he simply told the children of Israel, when you have sinned, and when you have been led captive into the land where you have been scattered, whenever you pray toward this house, Jerusalem, in the land where you have been scattered. So right now we're in the United States. Some are in Jamaica. Some are in Haiti. Some are in the Bahamas. Some are in Cuba. Some are in other parts of the world where they have been scattered. But when you look toward Jerusalem, when you bethink yourself, in other words, when you get yourself together to realize who you are, and when you pray toward Jerusalem, in the place where you have been led into captivity, the Lord will hear you. You see, and this is the Bible, this is the scripture. So when we get ourselves together and start keeping his word, his commandments, his laws, statutes, and judgments, the Lord can cause your enemy to have compassion on you. What does that mean? Somebody says, well, I don't want them to do me any favors. No, it's when it has compassion, the Lord would just give you favor, brothers and sisters. And a lot of people have favor, all right? Some people don't understand that what that means, and what that simply is that things could be happening to all around you. Things could be happening. And I know what happens to everybody in the world. Everybody's going through shootings. Everybody goes to jail, but not at the alarming rate that we do. Not at the alarming rate. I watched a footage that Stephen A. Smith did, who works for CNN, and he was just baffled over the recent firings at ESPN, and he was baffled. But he started off talking about all the shootings that took place over last weekend. All of the people being shot and killed. And what bothered him the most, that this was what some people call black on black crime. But he also brought out the fact, yes, there's white on white crime, but not when you only representing about 15-16% of the population, but you are the victims of your own selves at an alarming rate more than anybody else. That is something to not overlook. When you look at all the prisons in the world, and our people, only at 15% of the population, but yet we occupy nearly 40% of the prisons. That's an alarming rate, maybe even higher. And I didn't look at the statistics and confirm the statistics lately, but brothers and sisters, It's at an alarming rate. And not only that, you got to look at this. When somebody gets killed, the person who did the killing, they taken out of the system. So, you know, we have some things going on that we got to really look at. So, the scriptures in Chronicles 7:14 says, when my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways, seek his face. And you all know the scripture. That's what it's going to have to take. That's what it's going to have to take to get people together. Because nothing else, I'm telling you, is going to work. Nothing. It's only when we return back to him. When we return back to him, he'll return back to us. All right? That's how this works, brothers and sisters. We have to turn back to the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And until we do that, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It has to happen only that way. Other than that, we're going to be in a position where we're going to continue to be the number one in everything. Number one in shootings, the number one in all manner of diseases. And some people say, what do you mean the number one? Look at the number one race of people who has heart disease. The number one is us, brothers and sisters. And I can't change that. You can't change that. It is. I'm sorry about that. We're going to get to this baptism this morning. Have I restarted back? Yes. We're going to get to this baptism this morning, and we're going to go over here and look at the candidates that are there, and they've been really steadfast in learning the word, and this is what we like to see. These are the things that we like to have get done. There's one young man that is in the Navy, and he's at home, but he had a strong desire to get baptized, and we're going to make sure that we get him baptized today. And this is what it's about, getting baptized, making those life decisions to get ourselves together. So that being said, brothers and sisters, we will see you. Happy Sabbath. Come on out to Bethel today. We are the Israel of God Bethel Fort Lauderdale class, and we look forward to seeing you today. Peace and blessings.